Hey, hi friends, namaste to all, my Shandale Parivar and all the people out there who are listening to this video and all my students who have been bombarding me with all sorts of questions regarding the retrogression of different planets and also, the kind of result they will, give. So, सबसे पहले तो thank you very much for tuning in. And I hope you guys are all safe and sound and locked in inside. These are difficult times, and we need to be very extra careful. Although some relief is there, as I had said in earlier videos also, that when the sun will be in exaltation state, there would be some sort of relief in the whole COVID thing. So stay safe, stay inside, and let's fight this all together. And I hope that you're all healthy and having great fun inside, and trying to retrospect inside and see what our values, what our life is all about. All right. So this video, it's been quite some time. I know. So I apologize to all the people who have been waiting for this video. I've been pinging me in my WhatsApp. That we have not, been able to hear you out for quite some time. So here I am. These classes and consultation and this time period, which is very, very, I would say it's not good. Right? It's a tough time. So had been keeping me very busy, and also for your information, I had also undergone some COVID test myself, and thankfully it had turned out to be negative. I had gone to a hospital with one of my relatives because he was suffering, so there was a test needed. So anyway, so here I am. So the topic of today's video is twofold. One is the retrogression of different planets, especially Saturn and Jupiter. I will be talking about this, and also my experiences and insight, and And the second one is a query from one of my students regarding a post in one of the community, I guess, Facebook community, which we had forwarded to me on WhatsApp regarding a remedy for a job. And the end of the video, I will be sharing a remedy for Saturn, which I found it very, very effective, easy. It's not difficult, and gives result. Okay. So firstly, let's talk about that post that one of my students have shared in the WhatsApp regarding some job. So if he's saying that if you don't have a job and looking for a job, what you need to do is, according to the post, and this was actually published in KRS channel, so this post is very interesting. But what the post had finally given result, or the remedy, is something that I want to talk about. Okay, this post was saying that if you draw a nakshatra animal, and every nakshatra has an animal depiction. It is a plant depiction, it is a symbolic depiction, all sorts of things on nakshatra. So if the nakshatra is drawn on a piece of paper, a certain kind of nakshatra that you have, and you keep it with yourself, you're going to get a job. So my student had asked me, can you comment on this? And so my answer would be, with the folded hands, please stay away from these kind of frivolous and unconclusive remedial measures. You don't get a job by drawing certain animals or anything on a piece of paper. Yes, the drawing a piece of paper of that particular nakshatra animal can bring opportunities, can bring positive vibes. Certainly, it can also propagate certain planets, nakshatra lord maybe. That is all fine, but getting a job or getting an offer just by keeping that piece of paper within yourself, is something that I don't subscribe to. And frankly, these kind of posts and these kind of conclusion that people draw, are in the realms of Tona and Totka, and these things actually reduce astrology to mockery, and it makes it very unserious. science. Astrology and Jyotish is a very serious science. So you need to stay away. Okay. So these are the people, these are the kind of posts that actually makes astrology look bad and looks like a joke to a lot of people, and that is why the astrology is suffering so much. So we need to stay away from all this. So my student, if you're listening to me, okay, drawing on a piece of paper is not going to bring a joy. You have to work hard, you have to hone down your skills, you have to see the situation. The whole job structure, social structure have changed due to COVID. It's work from home, it's more skill based, and so on and so forth. You need to find out what the areas you are lacking and what are the strengths and weaknesses, do a SWOT analysis, and then go into it, rather than doing a drawing or a painting on a piece of paper. Frankly, in a black and white is absolutely nonsense. I don't believe it, but still, if you have faith, kind of overrules everything. So if you have faith, please go ahead. So it's not something that I would subscribe to. Okay, let's start with the Saturn. Okay, Saturn had retrograded, on May 11th. Jupiter had retrograded on May 14th, and Venus had retrograded on May 13th. So there are 3 planets which have retrograded. Let's see, and also apparently Jupiter degree and the Saturn degree are also very close. So they have retrograded in Capricorn, the debilitation sign of Jupiter, and Saturn is his own sign. So they are also giving results of the previous sign, and they are very closely conjunct due to the degree. Okay, let's talk about Saturn first and Jupiter. Okay, I'm going to touch upon these 2 planets, the retrogression of Venus a little bit. All right. So let's talk about Saturn. Now, Saturn, as we know, is a Karma Karaka, and and gives result, is very, very strict and fair and all that stuff. Okay, so that's all okay. The deity of the Saturn is Yama, and also Kala Bhairava. Now, what I feel is Saturn in one-liner can be depicted as time. Okay, Saturn is time. And that is why a few of the major events happen in our lives when actually Saturn changes his zodiac. Every time Saturn changes zodiac, major events happen in life, and it takes 30 years for Saturn to come around its own natal position. So every time it comes around, it is going to bring about a huge change in our life. So we need to be very careful. That is why Saturn and time is so interrelated. And Saturn is very fair and a very responsible planet. It makes you responsible. As far as your it's Karma Karaka, so it makes you responsible towards your career. It makes you responsible towards yourself, and also makes you responsible to you as far as the society is concerned. Your contribution to the society. Now, Saturn is also fair, and it is the only planet I feel, in my experience, I know that Saturn is the only planet which offers result which it is promising in your natal. But it is going to give you that promise. It is going to fulfill that promise. It is going to give you the result. The timing of the result, of course, will depend on Dasha, Mahadasha, and Saturn's dignity, and so on and so forth. So we need not be afraid of Saturn, anytime, because Saturn is a very good friend. It teaches you, it molds you, it punishes you. Again, it gives you experience, and at the end of the day, you become a better person, no doubt. So, we need to look at the Saturn in that way. So Saturn is also, as I say, Saturn is time. So, you need to respect time. That is why one of the best remedies of the Saturn is to wake up early, okay, before the sun goes up in the dawn time. If you wake up early, Saturn automatically, propagates. Even if the Saturn is in bad state in your natal chart, it starts giving you very good results, very, very excellent results. So this is the one remedy of Saturn, which can be done by everybody. You need to get up. So, a lot of people like Robin Sharma has also been talking about, waking up in a 5 o'clock club, waking up early in a 5 o'clock. So I think in a way, I don't know if he's concerned with astrology or not, but I think in a way it is kind of propagating Saturn. You wake up early, you propagate Saturn, you make it good. All right. Okay. So Saturn also has a very unique characteristics. Okay, Saturn always gives you an opportunity to mend yourself. Now, this is a given thing. If Saturn is going to give you a bad result or a good result, whatever it may be, is going to give you an opportunity to serve or opportunity to do something. It is not like other planets like Rahu or Ketu, which suddenly explodes and, before you know it, it happens. Nothing like that. So Saturn kind of gives you the opportunity in a day or 2 or 3 days where you would be, placed in a kind of circumstances, and events would be around where you can actually do something. You need to do something, and if you do that, the Saturn will automatically give you a good result or a better result. And if you pass that opportunity, because Saturn will wait, just like a judge, it waits. So, and just like a judge, it gives everybody an opportunity to speak and mend itself before it passes the judgment. So that is why we need to look at Saturn. And Saturn is also very important if we take Ashtak Varga in the astrology or Jyotish. Every time a kind of planet moves into its earlier degrees from 0 to 3 point something, 3.76 or 3.25. So this is the time when a planet actually transits. So and it transits in the Saturn's Kaksha or Saturn's class. That is why Saturn is most important. There are a lot of astrologers. As a matter of fact, I also believe if Saturn is placed well in your natal, the rest of the planets will perform well. Okay, if Saturn is placed bad, the planets do not perform well. It is simple logic of, if we take the Ashtak Varga, Ashtak Varga technique, where the first class or the first Kaksha is Saturn. So every time a planet transits, okay, it will enter into Saturn's Kaksha. You can kind of draw simile of Kaksha as a class where there's we have a different, when we go to a school, we have different subjects, and every subject has a class teacher. So Saturn is a first class teacher. So whenever a planet transits, it will enter into Saturn's class. And obviously, logically speaking also, let's say a person enters into a class, a child, or even you and me enters into a class, and if the first experience of the class is good, the rest of the days or rest of the period when we finish off our school time, also becomes good. And if the first experience itself is not too good, so what happens is it takes time for us to come to terms and then perform well. It's same things happen within in the chart as well. When we take the whole principle of Yat Prindam Tat Brahmandam, the principal pillar of Jyotish, whatever happens inside is going to happen in the cosmos. So if Saturn is placed well in your chart, it is giving very good bindus or points to the planets. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So that is why the importance of Saturn is well placed is very important. Now, apparently, Saturn right now is into 7 degrees and retrograde. So there are two schools of thoughts. One is to take Saturn as a 7 degrees retrogression, or to take 23 degrees. That is 30 minus 7 is 23 degrees due to retrogression. In both the cases, the Kaksha, the class in Ashtak Varga will fall into Jupiter first, and then Moon. Okay, if 7 degrees is there, so it will fall into the Jupiter class. Now here is a beautiful thing is happening. Jupiter is giving very good points to Saturn. Okay, good points. I won't say a huge fantastic one, but it's certainly above average. So there is a strong element of Jupiter happening into Saturn as well. So this is one. The secondly, very unique thing about Saturn and Jupiter, although it has conjunct due to degrees, Jupiter and Saturn are also falling into Uttara Bhadrapad nakshatra, both of them. So that is the the nakshatra of Sun. Okay, now Jupiter has a very good relation with Sun, and Saturn has although in Panchadhamaitri is not a very good relation with Sun, but still we often see in natal charts that when Saturn and Sun are placed well in a dignified manner, they bring in very good results. Okay, they bring in a lot of good vibes from it's your health is taken care of. You get name and fame. Even if you're stuck, if some project is stuck with your in a government thing, some government people has to sign your documents. It happens and stuff like that. So these are the three things. Okay, so Saturn and Jupiter placed in this kind of nakshatra, that is Uttara Bhadrapad nakshatra of Sun. Now let's say let's see how the Saturn retrograde and Jupiter retrograde individually what result they bring in, and then we will try to tie them up and see what the conjunction actually would mean. Now Saturn retrograde is a little bit let's say defeatism or defeatist planet when Saturn when retrogrades. It brings about defeatism in us. You know, it kinds of in a subconscious level, it kind of undermine our most noble ambitions. And yeah, our motivation actually easily yields to external forces. That is, very simply speaking, we tend to listen to other people than what is inside us and make mistakes. Then Saturn is Uttara Bhadrapad is very sensitive, because if you're going to do something that your conscience is not allowing, or that is illegal, a little criminal, a little bit fraud and here and then, you will get caught. Okay, Saturn in Uttara Bhadrapad also brings in a lot of infamy. Okay, it also brings in you tend to get embroiled in certain cases from the government. So government in any of the countries or in India will catch hold of you, and your whatever your illegal thing or whatever fraudulent thing you're doing will be caught. So you need to be very careful when the Saturn is transiting in Uttara Bhadrapad. Okay, this is one. Okay, Saturn also makes you a very secretive person, and there is an apparent super sophistication into this in the people. It brings about super sophistication into people, and also a lot of boredom. Okay, we need to be aware of that, and apparently what happens is, again, since Ketu is there and also Jupiter is there, ultimately we kind of find solace or peace in spiritual practices, and with the company of people who are into spiritual practices. So we will be going to gurus or talking to gurus, we will be taking in new mantras and so on and so forth. Now let's take Jupiter. Now Jupiter retrograde is a whole game changer. It's a completely different thing. Okay, from Saturn retrogression. It's good because there are two things. One is in a Capricorn, when it sees when it is debilitated, its exaltation site, the seventh site, is on the Cancer. So there is a school of thought where actually they say, and which I also subscribe to, is Jupiter retrogression is always good, always brings in a good good result. Now Jupiter retrogression people, or when the Jupiter retrogression happens, a very unique thing happens is you find success where other find failures. Okay, for example, everybody can will surrender to a project. Okay, we can't do this cannot be done, and so on and so forth. But when Jupiter retrogrades somehow, and if it is placed well in your chart, and Saturn since it is Jupiter is also into the Kaksha of Saturn. Saturn is giving good bindus in Ashtakvar. You will find a unique way, out of the box way, to come up with a solution that will awe everybody. Okay, so when projects are abundant, Jupiter retrograde guy will come up and say, hey, I'm going to take this project, I'm going to make it a success. So basically, from failure to success is what Jupiter retrogression generally brings. It brings you great ideas, out of the box ideas, radical ideas, and also it's expansive. Jupiter is expansive, so expands. Okay, there's also a element of luck and unknown help. That is the key of retrogression. When Jupiter retrogrades, luck is also favors you, and therefore that is why you actually able to do stuff that other people cannot do, or don't find it hard to do, or nearly impossible to do. So you can come up with that. So I think it's a good conjunction with Saturn, and it will expand your careers. It will those people who are looking for a job, they will find a good job. If you're looking to find a good guru or start something, so spiritual practice, especially with Ketu hovering near about, you can start spiritual practices, and that will be great. I mean, you can start learning something new. It could be related to your career, it could be related to your profession, or absolutely something different, radical ideas which ultimately will help you. Okay, so this is the kind of expansion in a radical way is what the conjunction is all about. Now another thing we need to look about is Jupiter and Saturn has Ketu and Mars in vicinity. Now this is not something good. Okay, health, we need to be very careful as far as health is concerned. There will be cases of surgeries also. Okay, minor or major surgeries. I have seen very recently, after the retrogration, people have gone to hospital for minor surgeries or some open hearts and so on and so forth. So you need to be very careful as far as the health is concerned. And it's a great combination, I think. And another thing that Ketu does when it's hovering around Saturn and Jupiter, especially Jupiter, is affects the children's. So you need to be careful, if you have children's. And there is an element of a child may think he's seeing ghosts and goblins and spirituals, things like that, out of the air. So that is what Ketu brings in. Ketu also brings in our past. So there could be project which we have closed earlier will suddenly come up and it will open up. Okay. So as far as the ghost and all this concerned, these are of course in the mind, but it does bring in those kind of, your child may suddenly wake up in the night and say, I have seen things and stuff like that. You could also, see in your dreams and also, feel a presence is going on all around and stuff like that. It's okay. I mean, that's what Ketu does. So we need these are the kind of small results and that will bring in, since Saturn is giving a little above average points to it's Jupiter. So I don't think a huge change is going to happen, but there's certainly a change is out there, and change is expansion, radical expansion. So even if it's small, it would be a very different kind of way you would think. If you're, if you have, forgotten about a project or about, thinking about starting a project, you will start a project in a completely different way. For spiritual practitioners, brilliant time. Okay, so even I myself subscribe to that, and you can start with the spiritual practices if you have been, kind of procrastinating on this. This is a very excellent time. So also there is a small stuff that I need to talk about is when especially Saturn is transiting Uttara Bhadrapad Nakshatra. It sometimes makes you steal things, or sometimes mind goes towards doing some shortcut fraudulent work also. You can think, okay, I'm going to make money like that, or I'm going to fulfill my wish by being a little, bit illegal and not something that is subscribed to the society, and that is and steal something, which does not belong to me, and it tends to give you things like that. So don't do that. Stay away from that. And meditation and your spiritual practice is certainly going to help you. And because I'm asking you to do this, because stay away from this, because as I said, since Sun is there and Sun is about to, is going to meet Venus anytime now. So what will happen is you will get caught. All right, people are going to catch you. So stay away from this stuff and focus on your job and career or business. It's a wonderful combination. Okay, and finally, as far as I said, health. Since Ketu is there, so you need to watch out from if you're suffering from piles or stones or gallbladder. It may give you some sort of trouble. So you need to be careful. Now another thing that might happen, because Jupiter Saturn has a Mars in the vicinity, some sort of property things might happen. You may buy a property, sell a property, think about buying a property or things like that, or a vehicle even. So that is a good thing. And if you were looking for the time, so I would say this is a good time to plan and execute. If you're looking for a house to buy or do some interior decoration, expansion, etc., you can do that. So that is something that can be done in this period. Now let me talk about briefly about Venus getting retrograde. Now, okay, very briefly. People with Venus, or this is a time when it becomes very difficult for us to enjoy things. Okay, that is what Venus is all about, enjoyment. A simple one liner. So it will be difficult for us to enjoy things, enjoy the good things. And also it will be difficult for us to actually adjust ourselves to the to the social conditions. So this is what this is what it brings in the Jupiter Venus retrogression. And also excuse me, also Venus retrogression also brings in unconventional expressions of love and romance. So it's okay if you're thinking of going out of the blue, to woo your partner, or thinking about giving a unique gift, or taking out, or do something absolutely wacky and different, go bungee jumping, or take a trek. Do it. Do it. This is what Venus is going to give it to you. Okay. And for all those people who have Saturn and Venus as Yogaraka, for example, for Taurus and Libra, a very good time, no doubt. Okay. And then for Capricorn and Aquarius, where Venus is there and it's retrograding, those people need to be a little careful. Okay. So that is what this video is all about. And so finally concluding, first, stay away from people who ask you to draw a picture to get a job. Stay away. Okay. And secondly, if you're looking at this retrogression happening, it's going to last long. Retrogression is good. It's expanding your career, reaching out to people, and taking time for our bhakti mark. Those people who are practicing spiritual through bhakti mark will get a lot of boost, and you should go for it if you have been stalling it. And it's great time for meditation. It's great time to attach spirituality into our work domain. Okay, for example, Mind Valley has been practicing this, has been has been saying this for quite some time, to bring in spirituality in our work, to expand our mind. This is the right time to do it. And finally, need to watch out for your health a bit, because Mars, Jupiter and Saturn are right now in between Mars and Ketu. Okay, very tough planets, both of them. So it might give you a little bit of surgery, it might give you a little bit of accident, some injury, and try to take care of your gut. Okay, try to take care of your gut. Eat well, eat a lot of fibers, let it flush down. Be very careful if you're having a little bit abdominal pain or something like that. Go to a doctor, get your consultation done. Don't stall even the minor ailments below the stomach area, because that is where Ketu lies. Okay, that is why it gives you piles and all those stuff, gallbladder and stones and so on and so forth. Okay, so finally about the remedy. Okay, I had practiced this remedy for quite some time myself, and I have also subscribed this remedy to a lot of people to propagate Saturn. So the remedy is very simple: donate blood. Okay, simple. Whenever you can, wherever you can, and if your health allows, donate blood to propagate Saturn. The more you donate, the better for you. Especially for all those people who have got Kantak Shani or Shani Sadesati in their natal charts right now, and they can go for a blood donation. If they have a camp around, I know it will be a little difficult during this time, but if they have camp around them, please donate blood. It will really help you, I guarantee you will get a brilliant result. So because that's what Saturn is all about, propagating. Okay, let me give you a small tip. Propagating Saturn is not about giving charity. Saturn hates charity. What it likes is empowerment. Okay, for example, it likes its empowerment to people who don't have access to resources. For example, there is a sweeper. Okay, for Indian people, okay, I don't know how you will translate it to Western, but if there is somebody like a sweeper, okay, let's take an example. If you're a sweeper, don't give him money, it's not going to help. Okay, don't give him money, it's not going to help. Give him maybe something that helps to to ease his work. Okay, maybe a protective gear, maybe a broom, something like maybe a vacuum cleaner. Okay, stuff like that. So which empowers people. Okay, if you give a sewing machine to a poor person. Okay, there is a female, and you give a sewing machine so that from that sewing machine he or she can earn money. Saturn gets propagated brilliantly. Okay, so don't give charity. Just charities for charity's sake is not what Saturn likes. Empower people, and Saturn will love you for it. Okay, empower people, and blood empowers people. Okay, you are going to help people who are about to die, or you are going to help people who are very unhealthy and looking for blood. So it will empower people. That is why donation of blood is an amazing remedy for Saturn. All right, so that's all, folks. Thank you for joining me. And if you have a comment, if you have suggestions, on my video, please go ahead and and comment on it. And I hope to see you soon. And as far as my students are concerned, right now we will be doing the Ashtak work in the next class. So join in early. Don't be late, because it's a big, complicated thing, yet simplified when you understand the basic concepts, and you will be able to see why Dasha and Mahadasha sometimes, even if your chart is showing a Navamsha chart and whatever D9, D10 chart, D45 chart, whatever chart is showing good, but yet it is not giving you good result. Why? Because there is a problem in the Ashtak Varga. Means to see the Ashtak Varga. So it's a very interesting concept we're going to see, and that is why as I said early on, Saturn is so important, because it controls the initial degrees of the planet. And right now Jupiter is giving very good points to Saturn. This is a perfect time, perfect opportunity to expand. Okay, don't just sit around lazy, wasting your time. Go around, expand and have fun. And thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to catch you soon with some other weird subject, and discuss. All right, and okay, Jai Raman, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.